Ladies and gentlemen, we are just a few days away from the culmination of the Lok Sabha elections, but here's a reminder of how the netas who ask for your vote so casually can collide in denying you justice in the bat of an eyelid. If at all, I had to sum up the diabolical cover-up in the Pune Porsche case, it would be one line we often hear rich and famous brats use across this country. Tu janta hai mera baap kaun hai? Ladies and gentlemen, here's a 17-year-old, almost 18 actually, 17 years, 8 months. He's drunk. He runs 2 techies in Pune. And then there is his father who tries to buy everyone in the system, top to bottom, to ensure that his son is not tried as an adult. And then there is the system itself that today, ladies and gentlemen, is on trial. It stands accused of falling to such levels at the feet of the rich that it makes one wonder if there is absolutely any hope for the middle class in this country. After the politicians, the police, the Juvenile Justice Board, today it was the turn of the medical profession to be shamed. 2 doctors and a peon of the Sassoon Hospital in Mumbai have been arrested for allegedly manipulating the blood test report of this young, drunk minor. The man on your screens is Dr. Ajay Taware. He's the head of forensics at the Sassoon Hospital, and there's Dr. Hari Harnoor. He's the CMO of the Sassoon Hospital. Look at what they did, ladies and gentlemen. They took the sample, they took it at 11 o'clock the next day, because you know what happened the previous day. The police tried to save this young man, so they didn't bring him for a test. After 8 hours, they bring him for an alcohol test. These 2 doctors take the blood sample, and you know what they do with it? They throw it in the dustbin and replace it with someone else's blood. The Pune police says the blood samples were replaced in a bid to tamper with evidence and show that this boy wasn't drunk at the time of the accident. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Taware isn't just an ordinary doctor. He has dubious connections. He has political connections. It is learned that he was appointed as the medical superintendent in December 2023 after NCP MLA Shinde faction, Sunil Tingre, recommended him to the Minister of Medical Education. Just to remind you, Mr. Sunil Tingre, the MLA, is the teen's father's friend, the same man who visited the police station when the 17-year-old was apprehended. Mr. Tingre is being accused of trying to shield and save this 17-year-old. Now, the allegation is that Sunil Tingre may have called the hospital's forensic lab chief and recommended him to change the minor's blood report. Can you believe it? This is straight out of a film. Now, Dr. Ajay Taware, as you can imagine, has a shady past. He has been investigated in connection with the kidney transplant racket at a clinic earlier, during which he was the chairman of the organ transplant committee. Following the scandal, he was removed from his position. Now, ladies and gentlemen, question is just how deep does the rot run? You have already had the police compromised. You have the Juvenile Justice Board compromised. You have the politician compromised. You have the doctor compromised. But just how deep does the rot run? Now, this is what happens if your friend's father is an MLA. This is what our MLA Sahab managed to achieve in Pune. There is a sting operation that Times Network has done. Now, this sting operation has uncovered how Pune cops gave this VVIP Brat VVIP treatment right after he killed 2 techies. All of it caught on camera. The boy is beaten up, handed over to the police. The police knows exactly what he has done. And yet, this 17-year-old who is pissed drunk, who has just murdered 2 people, is served pizzas and burgers right after he committed the double murder. In fact, a senior cop even justified why this VVIP treatment was given to the Brat, saying, we cannot expect him to eat vada pav or dal chawal. Bade baap ki aulad hai. Take a look at this sting operation.
ये तो इसमें मेरे को समझ में नहीं कि अचानक से वो बर्गर पिज़्ज़ा का एंगल कहाँ से आ गया मीडिया में, सोशल मीडिया में? जैसे आपके भाई बंदे कोई किसी ने क्या करा है एक्चुअली ना, वो यूएस जस्टिस एक्ट में ना
सेक्शन 11 है, उसको एज अ चाइल्ड उसको ट्रीट करते हैं ना, चाइल्ड विद कॉन्फ्लिक्ट लॉ, उसको खाने पीने का ख्याल रखना वो सेक्शन में दिया हुआ है।
बराबर।
5 बजे 6 बजे अगर तुम बोलोगे कि मुझे दाल चावल खाना है तो मिलेगा नहीं। और जो हमारा गवर्नमेंट का भत्ता खाना होता है, जो वड़ा या पाव होता है, तो गवर्नमेंट का खाना 11 बजे के बाद वो भी मिलेगा नहीं। ऑब्वियसली क्या होता है, हम हमारे काम में बिजी होते हैं, तो तुम आते हो सर मेरा भाई है कुछ दे दूँ। एक्चुअली हम क्या करते हैं, जो भी तुम खाना खाते हो तो वो टेस्ट हम कर देते हैं। हमको कुछ होता है कि बैठ अभी 10 मिनट, हमको कुछ नहीं होता है, उसको भी खिलाते, तू खा 10 मिनट बैठ, फिर उसको देते। ये सब गड़बड़ में ना, वो बच्चा बोले कि सर मैं खाना दे दूँ, तो ये लोगों ने शायद मुझे कुछ स्टोरी नहीं पता, ये खाली सुनी सुनाई कहानी है, तो उन्होंने दे दिया कि ये टाइम में मिलेगा क्या, तो पिज्जा मिलेगा, बर्गर मिलेगा, ऑनलाइन वही चालू होता है, मंगा दिया उन्होंने।
Honestly, the problem is not pizzas and burgers. The problem is the system itself. Dr. Vikram Singh is a former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Swapnil Kothari is a senior lawyer. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai is chairperson of the Nephron Clinic, joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Vikram Singh, can I come and ask you today? I have a very simple question to ask all of you. Can the entire system be bought? It seems that everyone from top to bottom was in the pockets of this builder father who did everything possible, who greased every palm possible to ensure that his son, 17 years, 8 months, is not tried as an adult. क्या सब बिके हुए हैं सिस्टम में?
Shreya, to your question, I wish I could say a firm and emphatic no, but I cannot. Whether it was the police, whether it was the doctors, whether it was somebody in the forensics, or let us say in the juvenile justice board, I feel everybody has been compromised, and the entire system seemed to be bent head over heels to help out the deviant adolescent. Obviously, the deviant's father has deep pockets, as also the grandfather. The grandfather has an even more dark a past, but we will go into that later. But at least somebody should have resisted and should have had a backbone strong enough to say firm and emphatic no, but nobody did that. Now, for a course correction, Shreya, I would say one pointer. Article 311 of the Constitution says dismissal from service is an immediate requirement. And if we don't do that in respect of doctors, the police officers, and all those who were complicit brazenly and nakedly in helping out this deviant, well, they should not only be cases be registered against them, not only should they go to jail, but dismissed from service immediately. And invoke the provision of Section 3(2) of the National Security Act of the Public Order, so that everybody is behind bars under the NSA, that the careers are finished for once and for all. Let this be an acid test case for everybody to know, not only in Pune and Maharashtra, but everybody in India to know that there will be consequences. This kind of a miscarriage of justice just cannot be tolerated, Shreya.
But Dr. Singh, very quickly then, जब आप सुनते हो suspend कर दिया, do you think to yourself, why this eyewash? Everyone knows what a suspension means. It means nothing.
Nothing at all, Shreya. That is why I say dismissal from service, being sent to jail and invoked under the NSA. That will be the minimum 3 prasad they should be given, so that the careers are finished and the nation will know now they will never get a second job ever in their lives. And that is the minimum that we can do now to atone for the horrible complicity that we have displayed towards this adolescent deviant. This is just not acceptable today. And Shreya, this is the least that we can do. And this is the beginning. And let this be a role. Let this be a test case for all future cases where there's complicity of this level. There should be dismissal. And as they say, that you have to be cruel to be kind in such cases, and exemplary action needs to be taken. And therefore, I strongly recommend that these 3 actions needs to be taken, Shreya.
This case actually is the perfect case that illustrates what is wrong in our system and how the entire system is bikao if you have the money. पैसे है तो बच जाओगे, गरीब हो तो नहीं बचोगे, गरीब हो तो आपकी कोई सुनवाई नहीं है. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, I understand the politicians being compromised, right? In this case, you have an MLA Saab who's completely compromised. I even understand the police being compromised. They have a reputation for being corrupt. I do not know what to say of the Juvenile Justice Board that let this boy get away with a 300-word essay. jabki they know that he has a alcohol addiction problem. I find it very difficult to believe that a doctor will do what the doctors at the Sassoon Hospital have done. Dr. Bagai, can you hear me?
Yeah, I lost the
Dr.
audio for a
Bagai,
bit
can you
in
hear
between.
me? Okay,
Yeah, I
Dr.
can hear
Bagai,
you.
I'm saying I can accept the politician and the police. I can accept the politician and the police being compromised. I don't know what to say about the Juvenile Justice Board that let the boy get away with a 300-word essay.
Yeah.
I just can't wrap my head around the fact that two doctors would do what they have done.
Yeah. Good evening, Shreya. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
You are audible. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I think, the first take is a couple of important points. My first take is that money corrupts and power corrupts absolutely. I think this boy who's old enough to drive, old enough to be an alcoholic, old enough to kill people, old enough to drive a car with dodgy registration, and old enough to be served liquor in a bar, I think is old enough to be tried as an adult. And if certain rules need to be amended, I think it's important to look at it from that point of view. He cannot get away under a juvenile board and then get away with this kind of crime. But coming to two important points, Shreya. One is, there were some media reports that this boy has spent more than 45 or 49,000 rupees in a bar in 90 minutes. Let's say, consider the fact that he has even gone with a group of 4 or 5 friends. This is equivalent to about 15 large drinks for this boy in a period of an hour and a half or 2 hours. This will drown even an elephant. This boy was stuporous. He was completely out of control. This alcohol makes you feel invincible. It makes you lose all sense of judgment. And we've seen the net result that precious, innocent lives have been lost. Coming to the doctor point of view, I think this is a gross medical negligence. This is a gross misconduct. This is an inexcusable, unforgivable conduct of these doctors. There is no question of suspension. I would recommend that the local state government recommends it to National Medical Council and the government of India in the center and terminate their license to practice forever. They have to pay a price for this. Absolutely.
Okay. They have to pay a price for it.
Going forward,
they're under arrest right now, but you're right. And you're right that their license should be suspended and cancelled. I completely agree with you. Go ahead, Dr. Bagai, make your point, and then I'll go to Swapnil Kothari, please.
Yeah, I think this is one index case, I think, which has caught the eye of the nation, and it's all thanks to the digital media and the media platforms like you all. I think we should set an exemplary example. We have to set punitive damages which send a ripple effect and shake the conscience of the people who even try or dream of trying to do this ever again. This is an unforgivable act, and very, very innocent and precious lives are lost. I must add that my prayers and sympathy are for the families who've lost young children for no fault of theirs.
Swapnil Kothari, given the sequence of events, and I don't need to repeat them for our viewers or for you, is there any reason why this 17-year-old, 8-month boy should not be tried as an adult? He knew exactly what he was doing. His father knew exactly what he was doing.
Yes, Shreya, there is no question about it. The application is been made by the Pune police, albeit much later. Given the fact that there was media pressure, Section 304A was there. After media pressure, Section 304 was added, which is 10 years maximum imprisonment, culpable homicide not amounting to murder. So the Juvenile Justice Board in the initial part got a chance to give the bail. In fact, surprisingly, the bail has come faster than the results of the blood samples, which we are still awaited. Shreya, this is one classic example of the country moving towards fascism. Bertrand Russell said that in order to move towards that, we have to be fascinated by fools and intelligent have to be muzzled. We are neither fools to be fascinated, nor are we muzzled. Shreya, we are doing a great job, both as a media and both as citizens and both as lawyers, doctors, DGP, etc., whatever we can to try to see to it that the system is rectified. 4 months short of adulthood, 4 months short of ability to vote and decide who your leader is, obviously you're going to be treated as an adult. That application has to be accepted. There's no question about it. Fast track court, 1 month max, try to finish off this case. That'll be the only case that will set an example if you do that. Otherwise, media attention is out of this case. People will forget what it is. Public memory is short, and this case will be refrigerated or it will lie in the dustbin somewhere, and we will not even know what has transpired with this boy or his father or his grandfather. So I suggest that in as much as media pressure that can be put from all angles, from every angle whatsoever, it's an absolute shame. Today, as a professional, I feel that today, as doctors are being questioned, or people are saying, "Oh my God, the doctors have done it. Oh my God, the police have done it." It's accepted that the lawyers are going to take the case up anyway, regardless, if they are paid up for it, if they are paid for it. So, our profession, as much as, there are some nobility left in our profession, but it's absolutely, and I'm not surprised, because people do take up the case. Bhai, mera kaam thodi na hai judgment pass karne ka, mera kaam to hai argue karne ka, everybody's entitled to a defense. That's what the legal system says. So mujhe kya farak padta hai? But let me tell you one thing, somewhere if we, if somebody had asked me the other day, Swapnil, what would you do if you were on the defense side? I said I would never take up the case at all. And secondly, then these are the arguments I had presented. And first, I think Pranesh from Times Now had asked me this. So I told him I would never take up this case. Just as a Shreya, for Me Too, I was asked several times, but I refused on either side. So treat him as an adult, fast track the judgment. Fast track the process, and I think we shall have some justice.
Here's what I'll say. Gentlemen, as I wrap this chat and thank all of you, what the Pune case has shown us is that the system is broken. The system is broken for India's middle class. The system is broken for India's poor. But the system works very well for India's rich. That's all I'll say. We'll leave it there for the moment. Dr. Vikram Singh, thank you very much. Swapnil, thank you very much. And Dr. Bagai, thank you very much for joining us. With that, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap from me. Thanks for watching. Good night.